A lot of the time, a photo can be worth 1,000 words, but in this video, they're all worth 3 letters: WTF. From people taking a bath in carrot water to people eating their own head, here are the craziest WTF photos you will ever see. Number 26. Carrot bath. Everyone knows that vegetables are good for you, so what could possibly go wrong with taking a photo while you're bathing in a carrot stew? No reason to let all that hot water go to waste, and you might as well cook some vegetables at the same time. Either that, or she's really trying to seduce Bugs Bunny. Number 25. The tides have changed. Sometimes at the park, people love to see the pigeons scatter as they throw some breadcrumbs. But it appears as though the tides have changed, and now mutant human-sized pigeons are the ones who are feeding the kids. In this parallel universe, the pigeons throw peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, even though sometimes it's not allowed to the kids. Number 24. Must ask you a question. Either someone released the Kraken, or it's the second coming of Cthulhu. Whatever the case may be, it's probably best you just do what this person tells you to. Hopefully, if you give her a kiss, your lips won't get caught on her tentacle mustache. Number 23. Flying fish. Fish might be able to fly in some cases, but you probably never imagined anything like this. We're sure this guy's glad to have caught a fish, but we didn't expect him to jump for joy over this young lady. In any case, it's probably going to make you say WTF. Number 22. Gasolina. In the U.S. territory of Puerto Rico, they sell a popular sangria drink known as gasolina. But whoever this is took it way too seriously and appears to be drinking the real gasolina. Not only that, but for whatever reason, it appears as though they're carrying some kind of plastic girl's toys with them. We're not exactly sure what will happen to you if you drink gasoline, but you probably don't want to, or you might turn out like this guy. WTF Little Baby's Ice Cream. I think if you show kids this commercial for the brand Little Baby's Ice Cream and tell them that's where ice cream comes from, they'll never want to bite ever again. This is a pretty twisted looking person, and just looking at this photo might give you nightmares. Not really sure what angle the company was going for this commercial, but trust me, I changed the channel as soon as this thing came on. Getting a spoon and eating your own head is an idea only a psycho would come up with. Number 20. Ear affection. Okay, anyone else want to try to explain what's going on here? If you were to ask me, I'd probably say that this guy is blowing bubbles for an ear that's in a bathtub. It actually comes from a German advertisement for earphones, but whoever directed this must have some serious screws loose. Number 19. Not my Doritos. Whatever the heck these crustaceans are, please keep them away from our Doritos. They're clearly nibbling their way through the bag, and they won't stop until they get their cheesy fix. Once they get a good taste of Doritos, they may decide that they never want to return to the ocean ever again. Number 18. Watermelon felon. If you came across this woman on Tinder, would you be willing to give her a swipe right? We're guessing it's a woman from the size of her melons, but we definitely don't want to assume anyone's gender. Maybe it's really just best not to know anything else about this photo. You do the research if you really want to know. Number 17. Subway surprise. If you were on a subway train and all of a sudden this guy pops out with a massive python, we would imagine you'd be slightly concerned. They might have already made a snakes on a plane video, but what about snakes on a subway? You better really keep an eye on your kids if this thing ever decides to slither away. It'd almost be like an all-you-can-eat buffet. Number 16. Hole in chin. Once you finally thought you've seen everything on the internet, behold, the hole in chin. Yes, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's almost like a hole-in-one, but a lot more disturbing. People think it's cool to get their ears and lips gauged these days, but this lovely couple got their skin on their chins pierced and stretched out. Now they have another hole in which they can stick their tongues out of and give a little smooch. Number 15. The tongue split. Have you ever decided a normal tongue just simply won't do? Then maybe the tongue split is for you. Another strange body mod that might make you scream out WTF is the tongue split that we see in this photo. How is it even possible to speak with a tongue like that? Stitches are also going to be needed on the side of the incision after the operation is done, so it's going to look pretty creepy. Number 14. The toe muncher. Some people might begin to chew their nails when they get anxious, but it appears as though this lady in the photo has the urge to bite her own toenails or at least the tip of her shoes. This photo was taken in the country of Peru, and this is known as the traditional scissors dance. Do you think she had what it took to win the competition? Number 13. A big FU. Europeans take their artwork pretty seriously sometimes, and to us uncultured Americans, this might make us say WTF. We're not sure what the church in the background did, but the giant purple hand certainly doesn't appreciate it one bit. Number 12. Who knows? Why exactly is this guy growing a nose from his forehead? The surgeon who transplanted cartilage on this man's face probably knows the answer. His original nose just wasn't working out for him, so they were able to construct his replacement on his forehead. Couldn't they have possibly picked a spot that wasn't quite so obvious? Don't pass gas around this guy, because he knows exactly who did it. Number 11. The main course. During hard times when food just won't seem to grow and rain doesn't fall from the sky, people who get caught up in drought may have to resort to dire consequences. But it turns out that's not the case for this guy. In fact, this lizard he's eating is actually a delicacy in Saudi Arabia. People bring out sniffer dogs to find these reptiles in order for them to get a quick snack. Number 10. Russian Riviera. Everyone watch out, it looks like it might be spring break Soviet style. Grab the vodka and start the party. It might be snowing for you in your hometown and you might think it's cold, but that's just beach weather for these ladies here in Russia. As long as the sun's out, people are sunbathing in the streets of St. Petersburg. Let's just hope they keep things under control before someone calls the KGB. Number 9. Wedding day disaster. Brides might spend countless hours trying to get ready for their weddings. Picking out the right dress can not only be a slow process, but very expensive as well. This woman here in the photo doesn't seem to care though. What might actually seem like a horrifying wedding day disaster is actually a part of a ceremony in Thailand. If you look to the right of the bride, you can see the groom sticking his hands out. Number 8. Total savage. You might say that someone is a complete savage for being or doing something respectably cool, but you probably haven't met this guy, Werner Freud. He is literally a savage, eating right next to a wolf in the German province of Saarland. This researcher is biting into the deer carcass all in the name of science, and it's unclear what exactly he's trying to accomplish with this experiment. Maybe he just got hungry? Who knows? Number 7. Freak on a leash. When you see a cute puppy on a leash, you might be tempted to approach it and give it a pet. But whatever this lady has on that chain, you better stay the heck away from it. Where on the black market can you purchase a flesh-eating alien? Hopefully this lady keeps it in the backyard with a beware of alien sign. Number 6. Panda suits and pandas. What might actually seem like a strange image of a guy in a panda suit carrying on to a real panda cub is actually exactly what it looks like, yes. Chinese zookeepers dress up like a fluffy panda in order to help baby pandas live in the wild. The people are actually covered in panda urine and feces in order to hide that human smell. Pandas will become anxious by too much contact with humans, and if they don't see their mother. Luckily, they're easily tricked by the scientist's disguises, and they're helping this guy until he's ready to be released onto his own. Number 5. I see you. The Illuminati is in full force, guys, and these young all-seeing eyes are roaming the streets and keeping their eyes on you. There aren't too many details on this photo, but this would be one really creepy trick-or-treat duo if they approach your door. Number 4. The happiest place on Earth. Disneyland might be the happiest and the most magical place on Earth, but it also happens to be a prime place to get your twerk on. That's how this lady felt, and kids at a young age might firmly understand what the definition of WTF truly is. Certainly seems like a magical experience. Number 3. AK-47 fashion statement. Fashion shows can get pretty boring from time to time, and all those models just look like they could really use a cheeseburger. But these models look like they could use some ammunition. If you come to a fashion show in the country of Kazakhstan, you might see these smoking models who might be carrying smoking AKs. Models are sporting some of the newest clothing and packing some serious heat while they're at it. You better hope there's no wardrobe malfunctions at this fashion show. Number 2. Sticky situation. It's easy to tell he's definitely going to be in a sticky situation. He has the difficult dilemma on his hands of either trying to set the world record for blowing the biggest bubble ever, or having cut off all his hair because it was just way too much bubblegum. He decided to go for it, and luckily, it just popped everywhere else besides his hair. It might have been a success, but it's still a very sticky situation. And number 1. Bareback riding. This woman here was tired of being so cold and lonely because there's not enough men to cuddle with in Russia. It's possible she's cold because she's barely dressed. It looks like this woman here had no success with her dating profile and just kind of settled for a bear. It felt like a good temporary solution to solve her problem. Life without him might simply be unbearable. Okay, so this turned out to be an anti-fur and hunting campaign that was photographed in a forest near Moscow. And yes, that's a real frickin' bear.